Hello, friends. Happy, thoughtful Thursday. It is, as you know, training day. One of the things that I love about training is that learning new things inspires me to be thoughtful about how I'm showing up in the world. We're on a lifestyle education adventure. Some might call it a vacation. And what's really special about this second half of the month that we're spending exploring opportunities and ways of living is that it's a moment in time where I decided we have to push pause. And just honor what we've been through. So last year was filled with battling a layoff and then 2 days later diagnosed with an aggressive form of cancer. And as a result, I had to focus on who I was going to be in that moment. I had to fight for my life, literally. Had to plan for what happens to my daughter in the event that I die. Those kinds of things were not on my strategic life plan. And it has me realize a little shell-shocked. Ha! Shell-shocked. Whoop! It threw me off a little bit because I am normally the ambitious goal setter, and I have just as much fun executing towards the goals as I do creating the vision board and employing the high performance strategies that help you achieve however many times growth in a year you'd like to achieve. Some years, like this year, I'm going to do 4 years in a year. That means every quarter this year I will achieve what most achieve in a year. That's how I roll. And that's how I want you to roll too. So today we're going to talk about your identity. Who you are matters more than what you do. And if you're like me, you may have struggled with that simple fact that what you do matters a little less than you think. And I want you to answer this question in your journal this week. Have you allowed the world to determine your worth? And in what ways? For me, I've allowed the world to determine my worth by the fact that I've earned 4 degrees, that I possess a degree that less than 2% of people in the world have achieved. I've also allowed the world to define me by saying I'm a high achiever, that I've achieved success in the classroom, founding downtown Denver's first elementary school, leading an innovation grant supporting the development of educators across the entire state of Colorado, influencing national and international educational systems, and then working in high tech and leading the development of a learning and performance department that trained leaders across the globe in 13 countries. I've allowed my success to define who I am in this moment. And so I want you to think about, in what ways have you allowed the world to determine your worth? And how can you, instead of allowing that to be your norm, let this be the time to prepare you, not compare you. Because when we allow the world to determine our worth, we're comparing ourselves to someone else's standard, to someone else's timeline. And that places us in what's called the gap. I love Sullivan's book, The Gap in the Game. If we're here and our goal's here, we're constantly comparing where we're at to where these individuals are. And as a result, we stand in the gap. And that gap doesn't feel so good. And so instead, I want you to stand in the gain. As I look back in this moment at cancer, I gained incredible strength, resilience, discipline, determination in ways that helped me change the trajectory of my disease. I would be standing here bald right now with a cold head on this chilly coastline. And instead, I'm not. I was able to use my skills as a scholar to study and learn about biobehavioral choices. And then most importantly, to practice the discipline to do those things every single day. So I want you to stand in the gain of who you've become in this moment. Think back to, I look at my beautiful daughter who's filming this for me, and I think back to the mom I was when I was scared to death when she was in my belly and I was about to bring her into this world. And I didn't know what was coming, but I figured it out. And I want you to stand in that strength, because you know what the world's highest performers do? They trust in their ability to figure things out. I want you to write this down in your journal. How far you go and how much you grow this year is determined by what you believe about you. Proverbs tells us, as a man or woman thinks in his or her heart, so is she. You will behave in ways that are consistent with how you see yourself. If you see yourself as an athlete, you'll work out. If you see yourself as healthy, you'll meal plan and prep. If you see yourself as loving and kind, you'll show up in your relationships differently. New goals don't deliver new results. New lifestyles do. James Clear said those words, and I would like to add, and those lifestyles begin with behaviors, which are born from our identity. So this week, we're really focused on gaining clarity about who we are, clarity about ourselves. I want you to write down 3 words that describe you at your best. I want to see them in the comments, and I want to know why you chose those words. For example, my words are vibrant, bold, connected. I choose those words because vibrant is who I am naturally. And there's been moments where I've had bullies tell me, you're a little too optimistic. You're a little too much sunshine. And guess what, honey bun? How God made me, that's how I'm going to show up. And I now know that that is part of my strength. It's part of the gift and uniqueness that I bring to this world. That I can help turn a very challenging situation into a silver lining success story. That's a superpower I have. I'm not going to let that go. And so my second word is bold. And I chose this word because I'm not naturally bold. We naturally are wired to take the path of least resistance. It's how humans have evolved and withstood the test of time. And so as a result, I have to remind myself to be bold, to cultivate courage. Also on that note, I really wanted to choose the word courage. And as I was Googling bold and courage and looking at the definitions of each, bold included courage. So I got a double whammy with that one, and I'm a woman who loves efficiency. The third word is connected. And that I know that when I'm connected, I'm just a better human being. I'm connected in service. I know that I'm not alone. I know that I'm here to provide help and receive help from others, that's how we engage in this kingdom that we live in. And my natural tendency is to actually be a hermit crab and to just crawl into the comforts of my shell when it's uncomfortable. And connected reminds me not to revert back to comfort, but instead to choose to put myself out there, to be authentic and real. Nikki, I want to give you a shout out because today you let me be real and authentic. We're in a season where we don't know where we're going to call home, and that's bothering me more than I realized. It sounded like so much fun when I decided to sell my home. And instead of the 3 to 4 month time horizon that's typical of a home in my price point, we sold in 3 weeks. And I wasn't quite ready. And to be without a plan, without strategy, well, I shouldn't say without strategy. I got plenty of strategies, but I don't know where to aim them at. And that's kind of driving me bananas. So thank you, Nikki, for allowing me to be authentic and real. And these kinds of authentic conversations are the ones we have to elevate our vibration, to bring up the energy around us so that we can contribute our gifts to the world, which in return allows us to experience great abundance in time freedom, financial freedom, and joy. That's my wish for you this week. So a quick recap. Who you are becoming matters more than what you do. Have you allowed the world to determine your worth? In what ways? Claim it and own it, and let's move forward. Let's focus on who we are, not so much what we do. And I want you to write this down. This is your main thought for the week. How far you grow and how much you grow this year is determined by what you believe about you. Let's form that identity with great intentions. I want to see your 3 words in the comments of this post. I want to be celebrating alongside you. Also, please share this with a friend. As women, we are rising tides who raise all ships. Literally rising tides, raising all ships. I say that all the time from our home in Colorado, and it kind of feels special being out by the beach sharing that message. Go out and shine your love and light into this world, brilliant beauties.